Good morning again. Welcome to Kenya. We're coming to you live from Nakuru today, and I wanted to continue some of the conversation and discussion about relocating to Kenya or any other country outside of the U.S. For me, I was led to Kenya first through my missionary work that I'm doing for humanitarian work across Kenya to help the most vulnerable of this community and to start businesses to help create jobs. And so I have established relationships in many cities across Kenya over the last 20 years. And now in November of last year, of 2024, I had the opportunity to finally come and set foot on the ground here. So here we are in Kenya, and I've been sharing many videos with others on my YouTube channel about the opportunities that may be available for them here. And so we talked about business opportunities where we have a business investment program where we invest up to 20,000 shillings to help a Kenyan get a sustainable income started. Our first business plaza is located here in Nakuru, Paradise Salai Business Plaza in the Barnabas area of Nakuru, where we have 3 businesses that are starting. We have the Fresh Harvest Cafe, which we have invested in the life of a Kenyan man and his wife, and they have a child and are expecting a child. So we're investing in that business and should be launching next week. Stay tuned for the video. You may see some preview videos that we've done of the cafe as we were designing the chairs and putting things together for the tables. Check out some other videos on my YouTube channel for that. Also be starting a Moose nail spa and fashion accessories. Actually, that's going to be a business headed by my wife. Yes, in fact, I'm very familiar with the Kenyan people. I'm married to a Kenyan lady. I have Kenyan family here, Kenyan children. And so when you speak about the things that relate to Kenyans, I hear it up close and personal. But also all how we can establish good business relationships from America to here to Kenya. Because as I shared with you, my American dollar still in effect in America, but it does benefit here in Kenya, as well it can do in many other nations. Someone left a comment about the flights from America. You can, one of the most convenient flights does appear to be out of New York. There's a direct flight from New York to Nairobi. It's about a 14-hour flight. Some people would rather, like myself, would rather have stops in between because I don't really like sitting on a plane for 14 hours. Unless you're flying first class or in premium seating where it has more leg room, perhaps it'll be more comfortable for you. But if you're flying economy and you have a little bit of height, it could be very uncomfortable. I know even my 8-hour flight from London to Kenya was somewhat uncomfortable because of the lack of leg room. So you want to consider that. But yeah, it could be more convenient for some who want to take a direct flight from New York to Kenya. Prices right now are right around $1,000 US, and you have to keep checking. Flight prices change all the time. So yeah, I lived in Georgia, still have property in Georgia. So that's also a subject that I will talk with you about for those who may be in America or going through America. Now, I know most people who visit from other countries don't have to be just from Kenya or from the continent of Africa. I have relationships with people in many nations around the world. If you're in America, near the Savannah area, we have a mission property there as well that we'll be more than happy to make available to you. Now, it's in a small town. I know when most people visit America, they're visiting the larger cities. But if you just so happen to be in America and you need a place to stay, a place to unwind and get away from the hustle and bustle, then contact me. I can put you in touch with one of my team members on the ground there. Perhaps you can take your little retreat at our Paradise Village in the USA, which is located an hour west of Savannah, Georgia, which is in the southeast Georgia on the Atlantic coast. So contact us, and if you're interested in that, because we can establish partnerships with you on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, whether in Africa or in America. God has favored us to be able to try to impact people's lives in a positive way. So that's about the flights. And as far as the living, arrangements. We have apartments and rental units available all across the country of Kenya. Contact us if you want to live in Nairobi or having a short-term stay in Nairobi. You can contact me about that. If you want to come to Nakuru, where I am today, I'm in the outskirts of the city of Nakuru, and we can get you housing here, short-term or long-term housing. And I mentioned that we're also developing our missions base, which will have a main house and 4 guest cottages for visitors and our mission workers. You see behind me in the foreground, there's another apartment building being built. So you see the green space that I love. Being from a rural area in South Carolina, I love the rural space. But this area is growing on the outskirts of Nakuru, near the Barnabas area where our business plaza is located. So choose where and what you want your life to be like. Whether that's the big city of Nairobi with the skyscrapers, and you have community suburb areas as well in Lavington, Kilauea, I probably pronounced that wrong, but Gituri, all these areas where the United Nations is located. Lots of embassies from foreign nations here in Nairobi. So you'll know that a lot of the malls like Village Market is right in Gilgiri, where a lot of the embassies are located. So you'll see foreigners everywhere, not just Black Americans. For those Kenyans who think that this is just a rush for Black Americans, it's too late. The Chinese, the Somalis, they've already beaten us here. And so there are many Europeans who live in Kenya as well, but I'm speaking specifically to Black Americans or those of the diaspora whose ancestors came directly from the continent of Africa. May not have been Kenya, but our ancestors come from the continent of Africa. There were no countries during that time. Those countries did not exist until after World War II, where the colonizers divided up Africa into their different portions, which is why some African nations speak English, some speak French. And so you have to understand the history of how Africa as we know it today came to be. But let's now rediscover Africa. In fact, let's make sure that Africa is run by Africans. And that's generally not the case because of the investors and foreign aid that comes in. The Chinese are very big here, building highways and trains, railroad stations and things like that. So understand that nations are dependent on other nations in this global economy. But as Black people, including African people, which we call black-skinned people, dark-skinned people, people of an African descent and African features, we must now start to equalize the opportunities economically. We must have economic protection. We must have physical protection. Okay? Those are things that are common among all people. Now, there's also sometimes when you move to another place, even where you live, you need to have community. Now, ideally, in some circles, local churches are designed originally, that is, as the original design from Christ, to provide community. That is common unity amongst one another, to provide economic protections, spiritual protection, physical protection, social protection. That's still relevant for today, because you don't want to just move to another country and you have no connections with people. And so we're really big on creating community for people. And you still want to be semi-independent, because you never want to be dependent on any human being. I don't care how good they say they are, how wonderful. You want to be dependent on God first and foremost, but you want to have certain things in unity, which is economics, physical protection, social enrichment, and things like that. Those are things that every human being needs. And so find a way to connect with people on the ground, wherever you live, even if you're staying in America. Find your community. Find a community of people who care for you, care about you, all right? And take care of each other. And so you want to have the same things here in Kenya. We're developing a community in Salai for our missions base, which will provide a setting for that. But even if you're going to be living in, say, an apartment or renting an apartment, have several friends or family members rent apartments next to yours. here where we are in Nakuru. We rented an apartment downstairs. We rented one upstairs. We rented one next to us so that we can create somewhat of a community for those who visit with us. And that's going to be very important that you keep that in mind wherever you are around the world. Africa has changed since the times that we Black Americans may have romanticized it. The village life is almost turned to city life now. So you can still find rural areas like in Salai where it's more of a village, so to speak, life. And when you come and visit us on our tours, you'll be able to experience the big city of Nairobi. You'll be able to experience a smaller city like Nakuru, and you'll get to experience the rural village life of places like Salai. So we want you to get a well-rounded view of Kenya. And there's also the beaches. They have a coast. The coast of Kenya has the Indian Ocean, where places like Diani Beach or Mombasa, where you can go and visit the beach areas. So there's lots of variety here, lots of opportunities to invest in businesses. So feel free, share your comments. If you want a consultation, contact us through our website, affordableafricanhorizons.com. No, it says Affordable African Horizons, not just Kenyan, because there are 54 countries in Africa, and you can take the opportunity to visit those that you may be led to visit. And we provide whatever information we can give you on our experience here and the experience of our Kenyan family that can point you in directions that may bring you to a place of finding the peace, tranquility, and freedom that you're looking for. So again, just another brief message. I appreciate all the comments and support that we've been receiving on our YouTube channel. And again, contact us if you want to know any information about my transition, a move here to Kenya, and what opportunities may be available to you. I can talk to you about rent in various areas, talk to you about the process of buying land or buying a house. I can speak with you about any of that, about starting a business or investing in Kenyans for business. We can be your hands on the ground here to do that for you and with you when you visit, whether for a 7-day, 14-day, or month visit. We can arrange transportation to and from the airport, outings. We can set up all that for you. If you want to go to safaris, visit different places around Kenya, the Masai Mara, the national parks, Menengai Crater, Lake Nakuru National Park. There's so many beautiful landscapes in Kenya, including the polite and friendly people. And of course, the affordability factor is amazing for you here. This apartment that we're renting here in Nakuru, amazingly, it's a 2-bedroom apartment. It's a small 2-bedroom apartment, but very nicely furnished. Maybe I'll try to add some clips, maybe a few pictures to this video. But it rents for 15,000 shillings, which is about $115 a month. I know, I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute for most of my American people, because that's your light bill back home. This 2-bedroom, 3-bath, actually, apartment rents for $115 US. And so I may be able to switch the camera around real quick. You see some of the background there. If I can flip it, or I'll try to add a clip for you. There's also 1-bedroom apartments here, which I like the design of those even better. They rent for 10,000 shillings, which is $77 US per month. Yes, $77 a month. This is the reality of living in Kenya in a smaller area or area outside of the main cities. But there are some things you have to get used to here. Some of the doorways, the entry points have the little bolt and lock part on it, which most Americans will not be used to. But if you can get past that, you have a beautiful, nice, cozy little space to live in for a fraction of the cost of what you're living in America. And you see the environment around me, green. You may be able to hear the highway or see the highway a little bit, where you have the cars. But yeah, this is the reality of what we're talking about on the videos, and not just a matter of giving you numbers or figures off the internet. But I'm here on the ground, been living here for over 3 months now. You've seen videos of me at the apartment in Nairobi, in the Raqqa area, but now you see me here at our apartment or place of residence here in Nakuru, and soon you'll see our development starting in Salai. So reach out to me, Saints. Again, I appreciate all the comments. And warm welcomes and greetings from my Kenyan residents and citizens, as well as those from abroad. Let's build community together. Let's support each other. Let's take care of each other. I look forward to speaking with you in the next video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to be made aware of new videos when they're released. In the meantime, Kwaheri, have a great day.